Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 2D RPG with Cree. That's me. So today we're going to give our player some friends. He's lonely right now, and what's an RPG without friends? So what we're going to do is let's see here. I have a sprite somewhere in here for a merchant. So we're gonna have another project here. Not that one. And he's down here somewhere. As you can see, I have a lot of sprites. And we're going to take him and drag and drop him into our game. If you don't have sprites, you can make one with the sprite app that I showed you, or you can download them for free from Unity. There's plenty of people that have free downloads for sprites. So anyway, we're going to change this to our 32. We're going to do multiple sprite editor. We're going to slice from the automatic bottom because we're going to be animating him. I'm going to slice him up, hit apply, and we're going to drag and drop him into this game. So we're going to actually change his name here to Mysterious Man, because I'm going to have it set up so that you don't know who this is, but later on he's going to be a merchant. So this is going to be our merchant, but people don't know that yet. So for now he's going to be the Mysterious Man. So what do we need to do? We need to come in here and we need to make a C# script, and we're going to name it NPC. So now that that's made, we're going to come into here. And we don't need the update or start. You can get rid of that for now. To start off, we're going to do a string. We're going to say name. We're going to do an int for age. We're going to give him another string. And we're going to give him a faction and another public string, occupation. And then we're going to also give him a public int level in case we ever need to kill him or somebody else tries killing him. We'll see. So for now, that should be good. Now that that's said and done, we can come back in here and we can click on him and we can see here's our NPC script. It's not attached to him yet, but that's fine. So we can come in here and we'll hit play. So as you can see right now, we walk behind him, but we walk through him and we stay behind him. So that's not okay. We want to be able to walk behind him, and we want to be able to walk in front of him. As you can see here, that does not happen. So how are we going to fix that? To fix that, we need to create another script, and we need to call this one sorting. And just so we don't forget, we're going to go to the Mysterious Man, and we're going to give him a sorting script. So that's now attached to him. Let's open that up. So we're not going to need a start, but we are going to do the update because we want to constantly be checking if it's sorting or not. So to start this off, we're going to need a public transform, and we'll call it player. It'd help if I spelled transform right. So I'll show you what this does right away. So I never really explained this, but when you do publics like this inside of a script and you attach it to something, you can come over here and you can see it right here. So we called it player. We're going to drag and drop the player into it, or we could do the circle menu and then we could click the player. So now the transform is looking for the player's transform in relation to the mysterious man. So we come back into here, and on the update, we want to check if we're above or below it. So to do that, we can use our y-axis. So we're going to do an if statement, and we're going to say transform dot position dot y, because we're checking where we are on the y-axis, is greater than or equal to the player's transform, and that's the player transform that we just set up. Be careful not to use your player class. It won't work. We're going to say transform dot position dot y, because we're going to compare it to the player's position. So if we're greater than, if the player or the transform of the sprite is greater than the player's, we're going to want to say that we are behind the merchant. Because if he is higher up than us, that means we're going to be underneath him and in front of him. So, well, sorry, vice versa. We're going to be behind him because he's higher up. We're going to be behind him. So we want to check for that. So to check for that, we're going to do a get component statement. We're going to say sprite renderer, and then we're going to pull in sprite renderer through the sorting order, and then we're going to check with relation to the player dot get component sprite renderer dot sorting order, and we're going to set that to -1. So what is this doing? So if we are above the player, or sorry, if we are above the merchant, we're going to be behind him, or we want to be behind him at least. Then we are going to take the player sorting order and put it behind the merchant sorting order. That's what the -1 is. So we can check this, and we're going to put a debug log in here, actually. So we're going to say debug.log, and then we're going to say you are behind the mysterious man. That's it. So then we have to do the same thing for if we're in front of him. We're going to do another if statement, and same thing. But we're going to do transform.position.y, position.y. But this time we're going to check if we're less than that. Player.transform.position.y. So now this, we're checking the position of the mysterious man, and if his position is less than the player's transform, so if on the y-axis the player is below the mysterious man, we want to be walking in front of him. So let's put that debug log in there right away, and then we're just going to say you are in front of the mysterious man. Okay, and then same thing, we're going to do get component sprite renderer, and then we're going to take a sprite renderer and check the sorting order, and we're going to set that equal to player dot get component sprite renderer sorting order, and then we're going to add one because we want to be above the sprite. of the mysterious man. So we come in here and save this and go back into Unity. Let this load up real quick. We're gonna check this out. So we're gonna hit play. So when we're behind him, or vice versa. I need to change that debug log. I messed that up. So it's saying I'm in front of the merchant when really I'm behind him, and now it's saying I'm behind him. I mean, you could take that into relevance, you know, like between the y-axis. Because obviously right now we're in front of him on the y-axis, and we're behind him, but he disappears. So how do we fix that? So if you look, we go in front of him and we turn off our layer. There he is. And we're in front of him, and then we're behind him. So to fix that, we need to give these guys sorting layers. So we're going to go into Mysterious Man, add a sorting layer, and call it character. This is going to be our character layer. And then we're going to give this to both of these sprites. So here's the player, character. Now if we hit play, it will work. So right now we're in front of him but walking behind him, and now we are behind him walking in front of him. Awesome. So now we need to add some colliders to him because we don't want to walk through him, right? So we're going to add 2 box colliders. This first one we're going to set up on the bottom of him. Oops. This can be a little tricky sometimes. I'm going to move it up a little bit so that the player can actually walk up on him. Actually, that should be fine. And this other one we're going to bring up here. Looks good to me for now. We'll change it if we have to. Cool. So to actually make this work, we're going to come back into our script here. Here, I'll zoom out on this so you can actually see everything. And so we'll take this, and we need to do a few things here, right? So we're going to check for the box colliders, and we can do that by searching the box colliders in the scene. So we'll do get components, and we have to do components. If you do get component, you'll get an error message. So we have to do get components with an S at the end. And we're going to look for the box collider 2D, and then we're going to look through that, and we're going to go through the array list and find the very first box collider on the merchant. And we're going to look if this is enabled, and we're going to set it to false. Oops. False. So when we're under him, we want to check, or we're going to set his very top box collider to false so that we can't walk through him. And then we're also going to do the same thing, but we're going to set the other box collider 2D, and we're going to do 1, and we're going to make this one true because we want this one to be active. Okay, so then we're going to come down here, and then if we're in front of him, we are going to say same thing, get components, box collider. I'm going to grab that box collider, and then the first box collider we're going to enable that one. So we're going to say enabled equals true. If I have this backwards, we can always just come back in here and flip flop it and get components. Same thing. Box collider. One enabled equals false. So the reason we do this is to turn these box colliders on and off. So this literally goes through the array list in the game and it looks for which one is which. So 0 is always your first one. Doesn't matter what you do, array lists start at 0. So then 1 is going to be your second one. So we save this, come back into Unity. We're going to clear away these error messages and let's see what happens. So yeah, these are flip-flopped. So we can just come back in here. We'll go back to our script. I don't know why it keeps doing multiple ones. We'll just flip-flop these. So we'll say true, and then we'll say false. Sorry about that. False and true. Alright, now if we come back into Unity, and we go ahead and hit play, we'll see that this happens. We're behind him, and we're in front of him. We can walk up to him, but not go through him. Then we can walk behind him, and ta-da. That's exactly what we want to see. And it looks good to me. Same thing. So that's all we need to do for that, and I'm pretty happy with that. So now, if we want to, we can come up here, and we can give this guy an animation. So we'll call this Mysterious Man. And we want to put this into our animations file. So let's go in here and fix this right away. We'll put this controller into the controller file. So now we have, and we never put these in here. So we'll put those into our clips. So we have our controllers in here, and we have all of our clips in here. So if we come to the Mysterious Man and we go to his animator, we can go to our sprites. And for now, we're just going to do a basic animation. So we'll do that. We'll do the 10-second interval like we did before. And if we play this, it should just bounce up and down. But I don't like how fast he's doing that, so let's put another standard one in there. There we go. Because before it was just skipping to the next one, so we have to do that 1, 2, 3 setup like we did with our player. And I like that. So let's click off of here. For now, that's all for this video. In the next video, we're going to be going over how to change the animation and position of the NPC based on the position of the player. Thank you for watching. Please leave me a like and subscribe to my channel.